So at this time of the year in Tentsmuir, so this is March, are we? Yes, this is March.
So it'd be like pregnant mums at this
So,
time.
well, so for grey seals, which is the ones that you're seeing, grey seals have already had their pups.
Right.
So grey seals have their pups in the winter time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so the smaller seals that you might see, they could be pups from this year. You wouldn't call them pups anymore. As soon as the pup leaves the colony, or as soon as the mom decides that's enough, then it's a winner. So they just go into being a juvenile, a young seal basically. And they got rid of their white coats for grey seals, and they have their adult coat with the kind of the mottled thing.
Seals live for quite a long time, you were saying?
Yeah, so seals are long-lived, right? So they can live up to, I don't know, 30 years, right? While I actually, in purpose, try not to, establish any emotional kind of like bubble around that.
Yeah.
The local people, that's their seals. They own, as in property, they feel it's their seals,
Yeah.
right? And so anything that happens to their seals, it's a matter that it's of importance. And so somebody that does wild swimming, will come and say, well, this year my seals weren't there. I haven't seen that many seals, You need to then also adapt to the fact that their way of their seeing, how they can, the value of the seals to them is a very different one to me.
Yeah.
And also, what I was going to say is, like, they know a lot. Like, they are the ones that, I don't know, Margaret, aged 89, has been living there all her life. And so she's seen but she's also seen the beach where she normally walks. There used to be 200 seals. There's 10. So she's, she knows what's going on. You don't have to tell her that there's less seals.
Yes.
And she's genuinely interested to understand why,
How do you find, like, going out and doing research on your own?
Well, me and Izzy also, we both go away for 8 weeks, and we are on we have a place to stay, but every day we do the job and we come back home to an empty house, and then we deal with the data and stuff. So there's a heartbeat that if you're not used to be on your own, and then it's a bit hard because also it's physically demanding. So you're tired, you come back and you need to you need to cook and you need to deal with the data. These places tend to be very close to where we need to go and see it's always the same sites that we go and visit. So I tend to drive for 5-10 minutes, and then I normally have to walk a bit to the coast, so cross a couple of fields, farms and stuff like that. And we carry a big backpack with a scope and camera equipment, and then a tripod, some water or hot tea or something, and then a sandwich, and then all the layers that you can imagine. And we're normally out during the low tides, because that's when there's more seals out. And we normally spend about maybe 4 or 5 hours outside. And then the nice thing about it is once you get there, it takes walking and crawling around, because the seals get scared very easily, so you need to be quite quiet and kind of like just hiding from them until you get to your position. But once you're there, I mean, there's nothing else. So it's beautiful.
The aging of animals and seals can be done by looking at their teeth, because the teeth have got rings in them, just growth layers, just as trees have growth rings. And if you were to take a seal tooth and you'd section it, put it under the microscope, you will see these annual growth rings. Look at every single growth ring down to the molecular level in an electron microscope type of thing, and then look at the chemical composition from year to year to year that this animal has been through, and can infer from that the kind of food that the animal was feeding on that year, and the conditions, as to whether conditions were poor or it was the animal fed well or it fed different. So when you say archive, I'm thinking, well, there's also this kind of archiving, and in some ways, well, we put tracking devices on a number of seals, and so do our collaborators in Europe and America and all around the world. And these tags, some of them will have different sensors. Some of them will tell us the temperature of the sea that the seals are in. Some will the saltiness or the salinity of the seas. And some seals will dive down to hundreds, and some will dive down to thousands of meters, underwater when they're pursuing prey. And our tags can actually log the information about how temperature changes with depth and salinity changes with depth, in the same way that an oceanographer would by putting equipment overboard the side of a ship. So some of this information is fed automatically when it comes back to us, and then this information about the seas is automatically relayed to oceanographers who model ocean circulation. And also in real time, some of our information is actually fed into the Met Office, who several times a day run this huge big model that predicts what the weather's going to be tomorrow. So some part of the prediction for tomorrow's forecast will come probably from one of our seals swimming 50 miles off the west of the Hebrides.